And we are back. It feels like it's forever, and yet I absolutely love Monster of the Week. So, Mike, thank you so much for running that.
Oh, no problem. I love running Monster of the Week. I get to just throw like whatever horror stories I remembered as a kid at you guys and then watch you guys react to them the same way I did.
Oh, it's amazing. I absolutely love that game. I seriously, genuinely love that game. It's like, I love Untimely Heroes and everything like that, but it's such a pleasure to play. And the way that you tell stories is, it's like, it really does bring me back to those like camp days. So,
that's one of my favorite parts about like playing tabletop games after DMing for a while is like you see other people's like DMing styles and everything, because like I never realized I did it until somebody pointed it out to me. But like the entire time that I'm DMing, I'm talking in like camera terms. I'm like, we pan down, we pan back, we pull away.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Love that way that you do that. That's just is so fucking solid, and it's so cool too, because I can visualize it. I can see it. I understand, the scene is now widening as we pull out, and then the way that you close the games. It's like there's a chill in the air. Game over.
That's a hint to any DMs out there. If you want your players to come back for the next game, put a big spooky tree in it.
Oh,
hello there.
Oh, it's Raffle gifted Erica sub. Oh, thank you, Raffle. Thank you for that.
Hey, thanks, Raffle.
So we are going to be doing fun facts, and welcome back to Fallen Drift. I'm just now getting everything in order in my head. This is the second to last chapter in Book 3, Mysteries of the Unseen Hand. And so, tonight we're going to find out a little bit of what the Untimely Heroes have been going through all this time and what is going on in the city itself. Exactly how those mysteries unfold, but we have no idea. Having said that, the fun fact about Evandale tonight is that some of you who have been followers on the stream for a while may know something about the deities of Evandale, and that there are actually 3 pantheons depending upon the age or depending upon your experiences, and that not all universes are explored. There are things out there that every now and then have the ability to reach through to this universe, and no one will ever know that they exist, but they can see us. And I'm not just talking about spirits, because very often that's the case with spirits, but other things as well. And these eldritch horrors have been there since the dawn of time. So I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that.
Isn't that just a cozy little fun fact you can wrap yourself up in? I feel like those are the 2 directions that our fun facts go in this game. Is either like something like sweet and very like character building and heartfelt about a character, or it's like Steve just dropping something like that on us, or one of us just handing up to Steve on a silver platter like, I don't know how to swim.
I mean, you're not lying.
Totally alive and safe.
Cool river adventure. I can't swim.
Meanwhile, Mike, you did learn early on. It's like fun facts. I like dachshunds.
Yeah.
Dogs. that and chocolate mousse. It was like, and then standing before you is a horrific beast from hell made out of the ichor of chocolate mousse. All right, who else is going?
All right, I'll start it off. I like starting it off.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so I've already mentioned that Shahid is an author and he wrote books. However, one of his hidden talents that he loved to do is actually he's an artist. More specifically, he does illumination. So in other words, he likes to replicate old texts and scrolls. It's actually part of his studies as an archaeologist, and it was one of his majors in university.
Really? That's wow. So we now know that he has a book, and his work as an artist. How well known is he for that?
Well, his art was one of those things. It was kind of like his parents were kind of like, you're never going to make it in art school, so you got to have a serious job.
Why do I feel that so hard?
So how many people felt attacked? Put hashtag attacked.
Oh my God. Yeah, seriously.
In the chat. But he never really became an accomplished artist as much as that's what he went to school for initially, which was his passion. But then he ended up veering, especially once he started doing more research on the manuscripts that he was attempting to replicate.
Okay.
And that's where his passion for history and archaeology kind of like derived from, and he kind of went forwards that way.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah, so it wasn't a straight line for him to go into archaeology and history. It was more from the art, and then from that he veered to the archaeology.
That's so, man, that is dope. That is like that just lends up beautiful. I like that. Who else has one?
I do. Hey everybody. I'm Kevin Adams, and I play Renault. And my fun fact of the day is Renault really likes the fruit and vegetables that are here in Fallen Drift, because it's definitely a lot different from what he remembers, considering it's evolved through many ages from where he's from.
Yeah, so he's actually seen the earlier versions of this stuff.
Yep.
That's okay. All right.
That's pretty meta.
I never thought about that, because you mentioned the food in your prologue, and then now like you're actually seeing like natural fruits and stuff.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Oh,
That's fucking cool. Zen, thanks for the 300 biddies and the closeness of a hype train. I appreciate it. Who else has one? Casper. Mike.
Yeah. Casper first learned that he was like a good shot and that he might have had some natural proficiency for firearms as a child, when part of a ripped street gang like basically mugged a guy, found that he had a gun, set up bottles in an alley, and were, betting scraps of food for, a shooting contest. So that's where Casper was like, oh, might have a career in this.
If we don't have a side scene in the Rips Alley shooting bottles, unsubscribe.
But that being said, Casper only uses handguns. He was trained on like the long guns that the constabulary keeps for emergencies, but every time he's trying to use one in the field, it's misfired, it's jammed, it's gone wrong. He thinks he's cursed or hexed or something, so he just sticks to a handgun.
Fucking awesome.
Oh my God, I just picture him playing like Pogs with his friend at school.
Oh, and Erin.
Oh, goodness. I'm prepared. Hi, I'm Erin. I play Ophelia Moore, and based on the amount of non-aggressive or offensive spells I just picked, I'm gonna say my fun fact is that Ophelia is not an innately violent person and is really only reacts in self-defense when it comes to violence, and her offensive actions are more trickstery, I guess. I mean, I don't think that's really a fun fact, but I'm learning as I do this last minute spell setup.
That's cool though. I mean, that's all good. All good.
I was at a con all week. I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I know. You were at San Diego Comic-Con, totally repping Neopets. So if you guys were there in San Diego and you got to meet Erin, definitely give us a shout out right now. And also, yeah, you're undergoing a move right now too. So that's kind of like a thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. If you're
now you're stuck with me every day.
I'm okay with that. All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's do it. You've left. Actually, can you guys remind me where we just left off?
Ophelia woke up from being unconscious.
That's right.
That's all I remember.
You guys were about to get back on the boat, if I'm not mistaken, and it was the morning.
We were.
And having just woken up, some of you also had full nights of sleep. Do you remember which of you? Yeah. So with you, you have Dr. Marguerite. You also have Ethan Long. You also have Honest Mantle. You have you four. After having woken up, some of you have begun to realize that there is a grip that Fallen Drift as a city has had on its inhabitants. And you guys are apparently going through withdrawal almost, as if the city is calling you back, as if something has lived inside of you all this time. If you guys can remind me, who is currently under the effects of nightmares, dread, and fatigue?
Right now, I believe it's all the three gents.
Okay, and Ophelia is doing okay. Now, last game, did we do a DC 20 con save right before game ended? Or since you woke up?
So.
I don't believe we did, no.
I don't believe we did.
All right, let's do it. Let's get that out of the way.
Why not?
Yep.
Con save.
Ophelia.
Yes.
Hi.
I rolled a nat 20.
Yes, you did. Oh, fantastic.
Con save. Got it. Got
Good
it.
shit.
Let's start the role play. I got a 7.
Me too.
Oh,
7
no.
games.
Come on.
Let's see what we have.
Yeah, 21.
21,
right.
nice. Okay.
Renault and Casper are babysitting.
So, Ophelia, you have, this is your, how many fails have you had?
Oh my god. This is the second or third. We can call it third if you'd like.
We can call it the third fail. Okay,
dive
so
in.
that's fine.
It'll
So
make
one,
it more
two.
interesting.
That's fine. And Shahid?
I have 1 success, 2 fails. So this is my second fail.
Oh. The pounding headache.
2 successes. One fail.
You have
Oh,
2 successes.
I do.
And Renault?
I think I know I failed once. I don't know if I failed twice. I'll say I failed twice because it sounds about right.
Okay, and Crazy C is totally like, yeah, this is, it's the second one for Ophelia. It's the second one for Ophelia. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
That's almost worse. Okay. The pounding headaches have continued. Having woken up after a full night's sleep, Ophelia, you can feel that your mind seems to have been free. And then as you rub the sleep out of your eyes and the morning sun came up, you begin to realize exactly how bright that thing is, until finally squinting was the only way to even minimally mitigate the horrendous headache that you are now having. You can feel constant chills sweeping over your body. Shahid, you see in Ophelia the same kind of reaction that you are also experiencing. Every now and then a chill involuntarily comes over her body. You recognize it as well, even though it is close to 88 degrees Fahrenheit in these early morning hours. Fortunately, it is not too humid. The nearby river, which we can hear swishing and flowing heavily in the background, has been carrying with it much of the moisture from the area. It's dry, it's a good heat, and the sun is warming. Renault, you didn't sleep too well last night, but perhaps you will tonight. You and Casper alike experienced something of a freedom. You can feel a lack of a leash that once bound you to Fallen Drift. You realize the elephant in the chain, as it were. You realize that this does not hold any power over you. You guys have been experiencing this now for a little bit of time. You have some experience in it. Now that you're this far out in time and in distance, Fallen Drift's grip on you has lessened. I turn the world over to you guys.
How's everyone feeling?
Not great at all, really. But I have my work cut out for me. I have things to do, and If I can get my mind to stop buzzing, that would be great. The water is so loud, but that's its job. I'm sorry. I'm ranting. I'm fine.
Oh, I've had a horrible night rest. It is freezing right now. God. Don't we need to gather some provisions before we head out? Right? Didn't we want to, I believe, go north towards that village?
Yes. Yes.
I think it was to the west, says the old man.
'Cause north would be back to Fallen Drift, wouldn't it?
East would be.
Is
Never been out of the city.
Yeah.
I work on purifying at least a few canteens of water, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah, well,
do you have extra furs by any chance? I feel like I'm gonna succumb to pneumonia.
Me? No.
Not
I
you.
have some.
Asparagus.
I have some blankets, but I can assure you, it's the city sickness. This isn't normal.
I mean, if you want a coat, I was actually going to take mine off. It's quite warm.
Is it?
Marguerite comes up to Renault and she's shivering and eyes squinting. She has a blanket from the bed wrapped around her. Onyx mantle. Oh, hello there! Hi, everyone! Just he's very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but even that piercing talk is just like it gets right inside your head. And of course, Ethan Long is there as well.
God.
Yeah. It seems like we on, hangover protocols, as it were. So, voices down a little, Onyx mantle.
Sorry, I can do that for you. That won't be too much of a problem, mate. Listen, we better get a move on. If that town is that far away, and by the way, what are we going to do about that village? This Bracklewhite? Are we stopping off there?
I don't think we're really in a position where we can discount any source of information.
Yeah, we really should get some provisions, supplies, kind of get ourselves grounded first and before doing anything of the sort.
Yeah, I would like to find a replacement for the gun I lost back in Fallen Drift, and we promised Fergus we'd look for some ammunition for that gun of his.
I'll do whatever is required to assist. I'll do whatever I can to assist. Renault.
Yes.
I'd like to spend some time with you to find out what you need to build a small, repair kit or lab or something. My voice is going. I'm so sorry.
I have a great deal of tools that I bought with me. It's why I'm currently encumbered. However, some type of heating agent is priority right now. It seems several of us are having a difficult time with the region's temperature.
Speaking of which, Ethan, how are you feeling right now? Is this affecting you at all?
No, I'm not affected by it, but I recognize that some of the internal workings of my body are not exactly... Something is wrong, but I don't perceive it the way that you do.
Oh, so... So you do feel a little some kind of tether pull as well, just not in the same manner that we do.
I, more to the point, recognize it. I just don't react to it the same way.
Sure.
Hello, checking. There we go. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I think I got something going. I'm going to help the dwarf. I have a name, you know. Sorry, I'm going to help him with the boat.
Yeah.
By the way,
please.
the current ambient temperature is actually fairly warm. I don't
Is it?
believe. I don't believe you need a blanket. I think you may need some water, perhaps, or maybe some more sleep. I'll be back.
Would you say that Casper, in his time as a constable, has seen enough people coming in, in withdrawal from some drug that he kind of recognizes the shakes and the sweating?
Give me a history check with advantage.
Sure.
Thank you.
History with advantage. 14.
You'd never have seen anybody in Fallen Drift with this.
Huh. All right.
And not this kind of thing. I mean, certainly you've seen diseased people, you've seen, you know,
Right.
etc., but nothing like this.
I just don't understand. I'm wearing a wool coat. I have my top hat on. It is infernally bright, and I can't shake this bone-chilling shiver down my spine. I didn't even feel this way when I jumped into the water. No.
Marguerite whispers in Renault's ear under pained voice, I thought we were going to stay here a second night and rest up and see if we can overcome it.
It seems like it would make a lot of sense to do so, but we also are fighting with our psyche so much to the point that we can't even figure out if we're cold or warm in the summer, and we have just been accosted by an underwater thing, we think. There's a lot going on, dear. Perhaps we should make it a consensus on what we do next?
That's fair. I default to you, to whatever you want.
Everyone, none of us have had a good night's rest. Should we try again?
If that's what everyone feels like they need to be in top form, then yeah. I mean, I'm used to running on less than ideal sleep, but
I'm very much not looking forward to being on the water again in case something does want to lash out and swallow the ship whole, and me being unable to discern the difference between those two things, be accepting of my fate accidentally.
It's not really tired as much as it's just cold and aches. I mean, moving, excuse me, is helping a little bit, but I don't want to slow down the party any. So
do we have any medical equipment?
I've never carried any medical equipment. No.
Of course, of all the things that I have in this toolkit, none of them. You might have called it Quicksilver. Did you have any Quicksilver? I could drum up something that would gauge temperature relatively accurately.
do we look like a Haddo?
Audience, can I have exclamation point D100? Meanwhile,
I think, and he begins to start messing with one of the quill cases that has a long side, and he starts to buff it so it becomes semi-transparent on the side, making a makeshift thermometer.
yeah, you start doing that. Give me an Arcana check. Fergus is, I don't have any Quicksilver, but I may have something that is, hold on. Well,
I got a 15, by the way.
Copy that. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but you realize that you might be able to rig something up with your current materials to give you a rough estimation of the temperature, but I wouldn't do it for bodily insertion.
Heard. I need to figure out if you, Shahid, I feel as though I don't know if you want physical contact or not. I'm actually against it myself. To see
go
if
ahead.
you're... all right.
Whatever you need.
And yeah, Renault goes up and tries to like check his temperature to see if he can gauge whether or not he's warm to the touch or feverish.
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
Thing I am not good at. I'm alright with it. Apparently I am 18.
Okay. He's running a little bit of a fever, and yeah, so is Ophelia. Casper feels okay. Yeah, Crazy C in the chat, by the way, is totally reminding us of everything that we did not do. Everything that's happening is actually still happening, crazy. FYI. FYI.
That's the secret. Our characters are as dumb as we are.
All right, so the boat is now ready. Everything should be a go.
Two people with dead look in their eyes.
The vessel is stable, but I'm not so sure you are.
Me neither.
Should we stay another night?
Oof. But to be honest, I'd rather go back to Fallen Drift.
I would not.
Renault, give me a wisdom save.
15.
Puppers! The puppers gives you +5.
He jumped up on our guest bed.
Puppers gives you +5. Fuck.
All right.
Renault, you, as soon as you say that, you reestablish within yourself that you do in fact have the will to break free of the grip of the city. But this is also one of the first times you are really understanding how powerful the addiction to the city is.
Okay. That's strange. Actually, before I get into your query about staying an additional night and everybody's illnesses and all the craziness that's going on right now, does anyone else really want to go back to Fallen Drift?
I'm kind of starting to consider it. I mean, I haven't been away from the museum for so long, and I mean, I don't believe we ever checked about the knife, and there's just so much paperwork, and
yes, you have to take into consideration that we just escaped a sea of rioters who were under control of a hive mind and barely escaped our lives after the secret that we should not be talking about had collapsed under the ground. So there are a series of things that logically would dictate that we should not want to go back, and I'm detecting a bit of an addiction of some type, and that is not one I'm very familiar with.
Everyone make an intelligence check.
Ooh.
Check or save?
Save, I apologize. Save, thank you.
18.
Renault got a 19, Casper 12.
5.
All that paperwork.
Your boys heard all this paperwork. God.
By the way, I think some of you are rolling in D&D Beyond, and others are rolling at Foundry. We do have Foundry up, by the way.
Okay.
And I believe your characters are completely updated. I'm pretty certain I took care of that.
Mine is not, but I will update it.
Oh, okay.
Because I just picked my last spell like 10 minutes ago.
I have.
Oh, I'm already starting it.
Cool.
Okay, there you go.
Thanks.
Okay.
I have to remember how to log into Foundry because
It's no problem. Casper, I mean, yours is fine right now. You rolled it. So you're good. Renault and Shahid, what did you get, buddy?
A 5.
You got what?
Paperwork. A lot of paperwork.
One whole hand.
This many.
Really? Oh, dude. Okay. And Ophelia, what did you get?
I got an 18, but
18.
I can't see anything in Foundry.
No, that is correct, but you can still make die rolls.
Oh, okay, cool.
Delish, hi, baby. Thank you for the 100 biddies. And oh my God, you guys are like, wow, Hype Train is close. Holy crap. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Alrighty. For those of you that had gotten 15 or more, you understand that shit's going down. You understand that the city is really starting to call back a few of you. You understand that the addiction is getting more and more powerful, but the fact that you can't... Whoa, Hype Train just started. Holy crap.
Nice.
But the fact that that you recognize that is also a step towards recovery.
A new subscriber. Hello there.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, Tolish. So you guys now have a +1 and 1 urchin for the use of the party. So with that, you also look over at, for 15 and above, you look over at Onyx Mantle. And he had just come up. He's like getting some water out of his boots and what have you. And he's standing there looking at you with a completely dumbfounded look on his face. For those of you with 15 or above, you hear him saying something while his figure is barely moving. It's almost like you see an overlay. 2 movies. One is two movies of the same person with the same background shining over each other. One is talking, one is not.
Mr. Onyx Mantle?
Hey.
Did you hear my question?
Oh yeah. I think that I might be able to do something about this. We'll have to hang out a little bit. I might have. I got a halfway decent sleep last night, so I might be able to be refreshed. That's what you're talking about, yeah?
It is not what I was talking about. Do you have any memories of the recent few moments?
Yeah, we were talking about going back to Fallen Drift.
What? Why in the God's names would we ever want to do that?
Oh.
Because Shahid's got paperwork.
I got so much paperwork to do.
He looks over at Fergus, and Fergus is just like, I got fish on the fire. I'm going
to... I believe we...
Thank you.
Working theory. Marguerite, help me with something for a moment. Renault's going to go put down and, like, read some... kind of like lines, Charlie Day, like red lines on the paper, and figure out if this could be like extra planner in some manner, or if it's like just a medical hallucination.
You know what, dude? Give me an Arcana check, and gotcha. Because DMZ just followed us, and while you were talking, you're going to get a +1 to that.
Oh, sweet. Hell yeah.
Sweet.
I got a total of 22 then.
22. Fantastic. And thank you for the follow, friend. Really appreciate that. With a 22. Okay, reframe your question.
So me and with Marguerite's assistance, I'm trying to figure out if the effects that we're having between the fever, between the desire to go back to Fallen Drift, the hallucinations, the lack of sleep, all these things are something that is perhaps like extra planner, like another overlay, or maybe it's like a medical disease that's going on, something that we have, or if it's something completely different that can be diagnosed, or we can get the conclusion so that we are not delusional.
And that's when the scene for you changes.
Okay.
You understand that there is a folding of realities here. You take a look, Onyx Manta was just the first go. He was the first one. But as he begins to talk, you can see the two images. The one that is fairly still and listening to you and listening to everyone else, pretty much the same one that woke up this morning, and then the other one who was talking and talking about something. You hear voices. You hear something reaching through. You understand that what is going on around you is not necessarily the same reality that you are currently experiencing. You begin to peer through. You've seen this kind of thing before. But after a moment, even all of that begins to disappear, and reality returns for you.
So, what are we doing?
Can we please look through our very special, like, look-see devices, I guess? I don't have one of those, and I don't think Mr. Casper does.
No,
but
mine's in... Well, my device is in Mr. Long.
There seems to be something obscuring our perceptions.
I believe that something, I'm uncertain, but I'm detecting something. Ethan is taking a look around, and you can see his eyes are kind of shifting in hue as he looks. By the way, you guys are now on, you each have a +1 and a +2 and 2 advantages or inspirations for the party, that which we call urchins, because holy crap, DMC DNZ just subbed for tier 3 for 3 months. Holy crap.
Awesome.
Dude, thank you.
Awesome.
And all the biddies now coming in. Holy crap, we're actually going to hit this. So yeah, Ethan is looking at you guys like, there is something unusual transpiring here. And I believe it's emanating from that direction. And he's looking off to the east in the direction of the city.
A residual proximity.
I believe what you're saying is correct. I noticed the change, and now that I kind of go back into my logs, I can see there is, in fact, a difference in desire. I can feel something.
The fact that it affects you is also curious. Huh. Oh, all right. We should, as tired as we are, and as much as I'm sure we would like to stay here another night, I think we should move as far away from Fallen Drift as possible and as quickly as possible before we fall into any other manner of temporal illnesses, so to speak.
Fergus turns some fish over. All right, I managed to cook up about 4 of these things for you, but I have a feeling you're right. You hanging out this close to the city, even though it's some miles away, it's going to affect you guys. Get going. Come back if you want rest. If you ever come this way on your journeys. Best of luck to you.
Should we have a means to inform you of our proximity so that you don't accidentally shoot us in the face again, in case there are actually bad people who come down this way?
We come back this way and just say it's us. No one else ever bothers to introduce themselves. Most of them are quite kind of silent. You come up all silent like, I'm going to try to shoot you.
Yeah, plus his gun doesn't fire, remember? We have to get him shot.
Well, I'm trying.
I can fix that, actually, if you'd like, before I go.
Why don't you go? Your friends are suffering.
That's right. Let us move. Marguerite, come on. Come.
You guys now have a +1, +2, and +3 with 3 inspirations for the party. Level 3. Holy crap, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
So, you guys pile into the boat?
Yes. Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Marguerite, with a blanket over her head to shield the sun, even extends it out and offers it over to Shahid and to Ophelia to act as a little bit of a sunscreen. Casper, Renault, Onyx Mantle, and Ethan. You guys, Ethan is staying out there in the bow. I can watch from here, and sometimes I can even see things under the water that are moving. There is a large object. I can detect it, but it's also quite some distance off and somewhat upstream, or upriver. Hopefully it'll stay that way. I think that's what you guys saw last time. I do not advise going swimming.
That's right.
No, you don't advise going swimming.
Wasn't planning on it.
With that, you guys managed to push off the boat, and the last of you then hop in, and you continue your journey down river towards the city. The village of Bracklewhite had been described to you as something that had been destroyed by something from the river. Even Shahid, a debunker, had noticed this. Ophelia, you had seen it, and so had others as well. Right now, however, your sight is pretty much obscured because of the blanket, which is also protecting you against the brightness of the sun. Your journey continues fairly well for about the next hour or so. But up ahead, on your right side, on the northern shore of the river, after several bends off to what you would estimate to be the south, you can see what appears to be a desiccated and half-eaten body, and judging by the rib cage that has remained, it is of humanoid origin. Its muscles and blood are black, indicating some time has passed, but you can see something has feasted recently.
No.
So, can we go back to Fallen Drift now?
I think going back unprepared, we might as well jump and try to swim back.
I mean, that fate seems a little more guaranteed to end well than this one.
I'm just
There's a body on the shore ahead.
lost.
Yeah, I'm detecting buildings on the up ahead over there. As the boat gets a little bit closer, you begin to see the first thing that really catches your eye is that it's a person tied to a tree trunk. Well, what remains of the person, and then you can see it. Did we? Oh, okay. And then you can see it is not a tree trunk. It is a it's a pole by design, and you can see something is lashed to it. As you get closer, you can see that the bottom half of it has already fallen down to the ground. The various scavengers have already picked at its legs, but the upper portion, head, arms, and torso, still remain. Other bodies line this area. You remember the descriptions of the village. This seems to be it.
Did this look at all like the figures that were on the outskirts on the riverbank following us? Because I believe
you never
that
actually got a good explanation of that, or rather, you never got a good view of those things. Victor, thank you so much for the 200 biddies.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. Is this that town that that forest man back there told us about? Is this where we're supposed to go?
I think it is, yeah.
Is this Bracklewhite?
Is this a joke?
You can see as you guys are moving a little bit slow, Onyx Mantle has a pole and he's purposely slowing the boat down a little bit. He's hopping off. Wow, you guys, yeah, you totally got a level 3 hype train. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You are... Okay, let's see if we can do this. Hold on. The village lies ahead, just on the right side of the bank. The sound of lapping water constantly hitting the bow of the ship, or the bow of the boat, rather, is almost distracting. But then your senses, for those of you that don't find the sun's brightness offensive, you realize that your senses are fading all of that out, and instead, you see a horrific scene. Building completely exploded from bankside. Something rose up out of this river and demolished it, exactly as Fergus had described. To the right of that which you've already encountered, a pole with a body attached to it, tied to it, on the upper torso, a sacrifice to something great. Already consumed, you can see that others are lying there on the shores. The ground is black with the blood and viscera of those things that have left behind. Curious, it raises to question why woodland animals have not yet taken part of this feast. According to Fergus, this had happened about 3 months ago. Yet the bodies themselves don't look too old. Certainly, most of them would have been rendered down to skull and bones by now. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It is there. But they seem perhaps maybe weeks old. Maybe even days in some cases. Ethan, steering things, looks back. Is this where we want to go?
Absolutely not.
It might be where we have to go.
What's it smell like?
As you get closer, yeah, I was just going to tell you, as you get closer, there's a scent of ammonia on the air. And then you can smell the rotting meat. It is unlike anything that you've ever had before. You can smell the rendered fat. You can smell the decay. You can smell the musty smell of like a musk, but it's the kind of musk that you get after you take a inhale of mold.
Oh, God.
It smells like the ribs.
This actually smells worse than the ribs because there's not as much feces.
That comforting smell of home. Shit on the ground.
This still makes absolutely no sense. He definitely said this happened 3 months ago. How are these bodies still preserved?
I don't think staring at them from the river is going to tell us that.
I thought you were going to say that.
Have we pulled the boat over to the side of the river yet, or no?
No one has given explicit direction. Ethan has been curious, is this the place where we're going? And no one's answered yet. But he's kind of like, he and Onyx Match are kind of steering in that direction, but...
Renault's here in awe, looking at the fact that there was something big enough to fucking smash into the goddamn coast here and just take the town out.
Shahid's kind of staring blankly, kind of realizing that there's only one thing in his life that he's ever personally witnessed that was large enough to do such visceral damage. And the color just wipes from his skin as he just stares blankly up ahead.
Listen, I understand we're all going through a lot here. I'm not going to make anybody go ashore that doesn't want to.
Oh no!
After all, you're all quite skilled from a distance with your.
We can't separate. That's not a smart idea.
I'm not saying that I'm going to go ashore and you go downriver. I'm saying I'm pretty confident in my ability to move about quietly and unseen. And if you guys want to stay on the boat and provide me some cover should things go wrong, I'm also confident in my ability to run pretty quickly to get back here. I could poke around, try to be unobtrusive, try not to draw attention. With you guys covering my retreat should things go sideways. Besides, I mean, look at you, man. You're sweating, you're shaking, you're cold when it's one of the hottest days we've had.
I understand. Whatever you guys see fit, I'll do. I
genuinely believe that there's something here that we need to find. I mean, we're not the untimely, people. We're the untimely heroes. That's what they called us at the Intelligarium. Sometimes that means you gotta do things that scare you, yeah?
I mean, at this point, we are the Intelligarium. We have to.
All right, Mr. Long.
Yeah.
Mr. Onyx Mental. Bring us in. I'll hop ashore.
Right. Ethan, get us closer and I'll jump overboard. And as you wish. He puts a pole in the water on the port side and pushes off, and the entire boat begins veering off to the right. You eventually run aground, and you come up, hearing the scrape of rocks on the wooden hull. Onyx Mantle pulls off, or jumps off, pulls the boat. You guys jerk back a little bit and pulls the boat back up on shore. Ethan then joins him, and the two of them alone manage to get the entire boat up. Casper, of course, you come on. You get out and you help as well.
Can I run my eyes across the shoreline as we're pulling in to make sure that we're not being watched as we pull in?
Give me your perception check. What do you got, bud?
16.
You understand this is a dead village. In a way, you're almost not expecting anything to move. Your expectations are fulfilled. You don't detect anything. There's no evidence of it. But you certainly have the feeling that you're not alone.
Keep your wits about you. I sense there's something here still.
Right.
I have a Constitution save from everyone? Ooh. What'd you guys get?
7.
I don't know. My virtual die hit the corner and didn't give me a result.
Casper, you got a 5, and Renault got an 8.
I got an 8.
Hold on.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, no, I see it.
There's a fantastic amount of decay in this area. I can detect the presence of something that I can only... I just realized I cannot smell. Ugh. Onyx is like, you're lucky. It's vile. It's horrible. Burns my nostrils.
Hello there.
Oh, apparently it's Onyx Mantle's voice that does that. The burning inside of the nostrils all the way in the back, just as it hits the sinuses, it's palpable. You can even taste it, leaving a greasy film in your mouth and in your airways. You look around, and you are just eye level with the remnants of the city, the remnants of this portion of the village. You can see the ground is littered with bodies, just as Fergus had predicted. The smell is atrocious, but now you're beginning to pick up on other things that you may not immediately recognize. Imagine, if you will, a patch of mint, sharp, lovely under most cases, but now add in a rotten quality. That celery that's been in the fridge a little bit too long. You open up the plastic bag, combine that with the sharpness of mint. Then add on to that scent of rotting chicken. Trigger warning, by the way. You look around, and it's horrific. Something ripped through these buildings. For those of you that are venturing ashore, you can give me a perception check, but tell me how far ashore you're going before you do so.
I think Casper's initial plan was that he was going to sort of creep up to the nearest building to the shore.
That is the old boathouse that was exploded from shoreside by something large. You go in, and there you can absolutely see that there were 2 people there. The remnants of their bodies are within. They were crushed, barely recognizable.
And then you said a perception check?
No, you don't. For that, you don't need it. It's very apparent.
Okay. And then I guess from there, because I mean, you can see that the bodies were like ripped apart.
Yeah. You going up?
Yeah, going up closer to town.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm following with Marguerite. Probably Shahid. Keep an eye on him.
Marguerite oddly seems okay. She's unfazed.
Okay.
Maybe like her brain's only processing one kind of pain at a time.
Got it. Heard.
Shahid is gonna reluctantly follow Casper, kind of fighting back the thoughts in his head of turning, plus the doubt of what can be up ahead. But he'd rather take on the danger of that alongside Casper and potentially save him if need be than be useless like he was for his family. So he's gonna, with all of his vigor, step off and follow, but allow him to do any sneaky bits that he's going to up ahead, but he's gonna keep an eyes beat on him, if that may.
It seems like everyone in the party is now beginning to move forward into the village, despite this ichor that lies in the air. It almost hangs, and even as you walk through the still air, the wind doesn't even want to push this scent anywhere else. It seems concentrated, localized. It almost clings to you. It's awful. As you go in, Everyone now give me a perception check.
$22.
13.
I cannot find my character sheet in Foundry.
25?
How were you guys able to roll it in Foundry?
Just hit the letter C to bring up the character sheet,
Yeah.
and then from there just do it.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all good, hon?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
good.
Good.
Yeah, you have to use a hotkey because it's
I'm doing a little better than Ophelia, so I got a 4.
Okay. All right, fair. Casper, you got a 13, Shahid a 22, Renault a 25, and Ophelia a 4. Shahid and Renault, as you guys come up, Shahid, we'll take care of you first. Through the headache, the pounding of the light, everything, mind you, it's now about 1:15 or so in the afternoon. You're looking around and you notice that there are large blood splots, but lines of them as if bodies had been cut and dragged. And you see them going across mostly overgrown cobblestone, so it seems like that the grass itself has been more painted with this. Renault, you see it from your vantage point, and you could be standing right next to Shahid, but you're taking a look at the larger picture, and you don't see just swaths of blood from dragged bodies. You see a painted picture, but you can't appreciate it from this altitude.
Or at all.
Hello there.
Hey.
Nom.
Renault would probably just step back and kind of try to track the mind that made this tapestry of flesh and blood or whatever the fuck is going on. This is gross.
Yeah, man. Give me an insight check.
It's gross.
What are the rest of you doing?
When I realized that Renault is kind of taking a step back to get a better observation point, I'm going to follow suit and try to follow the blood trail and think like an artist now in broader strokes than just the smaller picture.
Shahid, yeah, you definitely understand that there are pathways, and as you walk, you can see that there's an intersection of lines. And so, just for example, you take a quick 90-degree turn almost back to the shoreline, and you can see that it terminates in what appears to be a large, like 7-foot diameter circle.
I'm going to start trying to walk along the edge of the circle. Am I noticing, and more specifically, as I'm walking, I'm trying to see if I'm noticing now that I'm kind of thinking differently, any type of runes or specific writings that that I may have seen like when we were in the asylum, or that I wrote in my book once looking at those circles and wards.
You don't recognize any. Certainly, there are no glyphs or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, to see if they were if there was something trying to.
No, this was a single line that terminated on the edge of a circle, and if the line had continued, it would have pierced the circle and hit the center. In this case, it just simply stopped and then went into a circle painted with a body's blood, in large swath strokes of about 2 feet wide. Meanwhile, Renault, looking at the larger picture from the artist's point of view, you begin to realize that there's only truly one way that you would be able to appreciate what it is that's on the ground. And that is probably by climbing a tree or getting on top of one of the buildings that are still surviving in the distance. Speaking of, the village does continue. It appears to be about half of this village have been utterly destroyed, and now a carpet of body fragments, skin, flesh, and other bits are laying around. It's disgusting, but soon the smell, after maybe 20 minutes or so, begins to wear off. Renault, the only way you're going to get this is by climbing a roof in the distance, and even then you may not be able to see everything, or a nearby tree. gonna grab some more hooch. I'll be right back.
Shahid,
Sir.
I need a better vantage point to get a much broader look of everything that we have here. I have a running theory, but it's not necessarily complete.
A broader view, like you're trying to see the entire scope or canvas of this area?
Yes, a bird's eye view, if you would.
Give me an athletics check if you're gonna go climb a tree.
Yes.
Actually, what is it? What's your passive?
I want to use my my tricks. I want to use my little grappling thing for
cool.
this one.
Okay.
And that would be a 24.
Oh yeah, you
hit
hustle.
The top of the yep.
Yeah, you hustle up the tree. You find it. It's a good pine tree. It has some low-lying, straight stuck out, and still somewhat strong branches. Most pine trees at this are dead, but no, you manage to find a couple. You get up there, and you see the scene unfold. First off, you see exactly where Shahid is. He's on the border of a circle now, walking around it, taking a look down, and it's like 7 feet wide. This thing is no joke. And then there's a line that goes up, and here you can see a cross line. But the line that bisects the main line is maybe only 15 feet long. And then the main line then continues. And then you see a second line parallel to the first, also about 15 feet. And then it begins curving over to the right and large and forms a giant hook. Right now, Renault is the only person who can see it.
Is everything okay, sir?
Just some pattern recognition. While I'm up here, can I roll a perception to see if I see anything else of significance?
You don't need to do that. No, there's nothing else at this point. But you begin to get an appreciation of the destruction of life. Yeah, it's a fetid scene. There's nothing here that survived this onslaught. And looking now, first off, let's just paint the picture real quick. From the shore, if you were standing on the shore with your back to the river, and you were standing where Casper just was in the building, looking down, seeing the two crushed bodies, and then straight ahead into this destroyed village, you are on the right-hand side of the village and about now 20 feet in the air looking down. If you look off to your right, which would be off to the northeast or so, there you'd be able to see, hey, thank you for that, Nom. You'd be able to see that there are more buildings, just as you were able to predict. Now, of course, you can't see over some of the roofs. Some of those are still about 20 feet tall or so, but you can definitely get an understanding that this village is actually a little bit larger than you initially thought of. May I please have an investigation?
Critical one.
That's a 9. What would you like to do, if anything?
Rappel down.
Okay. Oh wow, repel?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You grab some rope.
No, he used it. That's what he uses boomerang for.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you and you go straight down, and you end up coming back down. Not a problem.
All right. What is the significance of a hook? Allow me to illustrate it if I can in the dirt here.
He does.
Yep.
That's what. Oh my God. Fergus was telling me about this when you guys were sleeping. We were having a conversation by the fire, and he said that there's a cult, and that it all makes sense now. How fucking horrible. He said every 3 months this cycle happens where there's screams that are heard coming from this village. This is more than likely why some of these bodies seems fresher than the others. The 3-month cycle must have just been.
Question: if it keeps happening in a cycle, why do people keep coming back to the village?
He didn't get into that. He just said that there's a cult that is known to be around the area. I'm assuming they didn't come willingly, if you know what I mean.
I think that one there may have an answer.
Oh,
And
God.
he points over at Onyx. And Onyx, you see him. He's been looking around, taking a look at it. Wow, you guys are fucking awesome with all the biddies tonight. Holy crap, thank you. You see Onyx, he's standing there and he's like, something's going on here. His hands are raised, and in the palm of his hand, just as you've seen before, he has a slight glow, and he seems to be turning his palms as if that is some kind of a method of detection. There's life in this area. I just realized that.
Shit's getting weird.
It's all getting very weird. And so, sorry about that. Just fucking 4 NPCs I'm running. I'm allowed to fuck up every now and then.
You're doing
So good.
If this is your first, if that's your first time,
First time, huh?
It's like the end goal of D&D as a player is to just automate the campaign by getting enough NPCs to talk to each other.
Guys, if you didn't know, by the end of this campaign, we're just gonna have Steve beat every single character.
No. I will not allow that.
We're like 2 sessions away from this being like Steve writing a book while we just sit here and go,
yeah. Here's a
I
roll.
follow. I walk next to them.
No, man, this is nothing without you guys in the community.
Love it.
Alrighty. So, having said that, I'll fuck off all of you. So,
Me and Ethan are getting super intimate.
I'll just say I'm glad we kicked the little robot that sounded like Ethan and Onyx Mantle together back in the day.
Absolutely.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake to make it. It was
getting
a
a little
bigger
much.
mistake to give it sentience.
Renault's doing mending and it just got real weird.
oh man,
Bless crap.
yes, vicissitude. So, you've got Onyx Mantle with his hands apparently detecting stuff. There's life somewhere around here, and I mean the life that is more than what I see in all of you. There's something here, and it's not pretty. It doesn't have an opinion. I don't detect any kind of a threat like it's. But then again, I can't detect emotions with this. All I know is that there's something else here. And he starts walking, and he walks from like one side of the village over to the other. And honestly, in this area, the village kind of funnels down to this one point, down to Shore Point. He walks about 75 feet over, walking over, and near you, Shahid, walks over to you and looks right at you. Aye, it doesn't change. It's all around. And it's none of these bodies. He looks up to the northeast where the village, the rest of the village lies.
My eyes go to him.
It seems to be coming from that area. I think. He starts walking up, gets maybe 100 feet up.
Don't go by yourself. God damn it. And I follow.
Yeah, you do. And he like closes his hands, and you can see the subtle glow within disappear. There's something here, but it's not natural. He's looking up at you, craning his neck. I don't know how to describe it other than death itself. But that doesn't make sense. That's the antithesis of life. All I can do is just detect life's presence. Really helpful on the battlefield.
Shahid's going to think about what Renault said earlier while his head was all misconstrued, and he's going to take out his mirror. And I want to try to look through it in the direction that he's referencing to see if I notice anything different.
Sure.
As an overlay.
Yeah. You like turn your back to the upper village and look that way? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do, and all you see is the village.
We're gonna go up there, and there's something sentient. At least let me poke ahead a little bit.
You can hear the clanking of metal feet as Ethan approaches. What have you detected? Anything?
something alive, but not like us.
I don't sense anything here. I'm gonna go over there to the tree line. And he points off to the right side of the village, or the eastern side of the village, and see if I can see anything. Miss Ophelia, do you mind accompanying me?
Not at all. I was about to do some investigating myself as I pull out my planchette.
Okay. So when you pull out the planchette, the crystal in the middle of it here, you know, immediately take a look and you see the ground, and you see the blood swaths stained ground and grass, and you look up and you can see the distorted view of a forest that lies beyond, but no dreamland as you've been able to see in the past.
What about spirits of the people, of anybody who's been...
As described only.
Okay. This is quite peculiar. I don't see anybody. No souls, just the bodies. So either these people are illusions or their souls were taken. Right? That was said to Ethan.
I do not know. I cannot ever see what you see, but I recognize that his eyes go from like a blue to a green, like a very dim green, and then back to blue. I don't see any difference in anything here. It is exactly what you see. There does not seem to be anything more. Mr. Renault, you saw something. You were looking at Onyx Mantle in a very peculiar light previously. Was there a reason for that?
Yes, actually. I observed, and I wasn't sure if it was some form of psychosis or lack of nutrients that was giving my perception some off-brand finalization. However, it seemed as if there were two of Mr. Onyx Mantle, two things occurring during the moment that I watched, and that got me thinking of the suggestion I gave to Miss Ophelia and Mr. Shahid.
I'm sorry, I did not understand that at all.
Mr. Onyx Mantle looked funny.
Ah. How so?
As if there were two of them over one another. Something you might be able to understand. It seemed as if there was a second layer to his overlay. Does that make sense at all? Using some of the vocabulary in your database.
Database?
Oh, memory.
Oh, like the old memories of whoever had this body previously?
Yes.
Let me... Well, hold on. He looks out into the forest line with Ophelia standing next to him. He's looking around. I don't see anything immediately. Miss Ophelia, do you have the ability to talk to the dead still? You said that was something you can do.
Yes, but I'll try it, but usually they're recent.
Maybe one of the dead?
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna kind of like head on over, Rosie over to kind of scope out which one, smell around. Which one's the ripest?
All of your noses at this point are kind of like turned off. Your brain just kind of said, no, fuck this.
Yeah, whichever one
pull
burns
out a
the
tea
least.
Bag to like clear,
coffee beans.
No, yeah.
Just any strong smells. I'm cracking open like the pistol rounds I own. Snorting gunpowder, just like.
Yeah, I will. I'll consume that spell slot. I'll speak with dead.
Okay, all right, cool. Let me just pull this up real quick. DMC, wow, you and the cheers, man. For a new person, dude, you're fucking awesome. Thank you so much for that. Alrighty, so
Thank you.
yeah, seriously. So you are doing the definite thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick one with a mouth.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one.
Like, can you imagine trying to talk to like legs? What happened here?
You just see the
dance.
Yeah, the foot is just like
Pick once for yes and twice for no.
They're doing Morse code like thing from Adam's Family to.
Like with his hammer toe? Yeah.
Oh God! It's like Okay, I'm not making fun of hammer toes. It's just This one is
As somebody with a hammer toe, I am making fun of hammer toes.
Yeah, okay, you're making fun of it. You begin to summon the extension of your life to its death, setting up a conduit of communication between the two. And as you do, you can feel pain and anguish, but ultimately, you've done this before, not tremendously frequently, but you've done it before, and you can kind of remember what it felt like last time. This time does appear to be a little bit more difficult. Kind of the difference between plunging your hand into water and plunging your hand into mud.
Ooh.
Nonetheless, you succeed. You make the connection. Ask your 5 questions.
All right. I'm gonna look around to the other ones, like last time where I was like, "Help me out." What did this to you?
Pain. Sacrifice.
That didn't answer my question. What creature afflicted these wounds?
The summoned one.
Oh God, we picked a very vague spirit. Okay. When did this happen?
You can feel the connection getting a little bit tenuous. It strains and responds.
I do not know. Recent.
I'm going to look around to the others. Is there something I should be asking that will result in more specifics?
I know very little in relation to how to talk to things in other worlds. However, perhaps what was the last thing it saw?
Oh, okay. Can you describe the last thing you saw? I hope it doesn't say no.
The finality of my destination. That which I have worked for all this time. Relief from this world.
So it wanted to be here.
Yeah, it seems to me that these people weren't unwilling
They
sacrifices.
sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, they brought
They're
this
martyrs.
thing
Martyrs.
to.
Martyrs?
Yeah.
You have one more question that you can ask.
Should I ask? What order do you serve?
The only true one.
Did you
And you
all
can
hear
feel
that?
the connections just snaps, and you can almost feel like a recoiling of that conduit just hits you.
That was so interesting.
The only true one?
So it's a group of people who sacrifice themselves to something that is summoned and wanted by the only true one.
Would my studies in history ring a bell to any old cult in like prior years, maybe like in like the 6-8 or something like that, that may have used similar verbiage to describe their leader.
Give me a religion check, dude.
Sure. And we're doing it in
All right, so you rolled a 10.
13.
A total of 13. All right, cool. There is, in combination with the phrase, the only true one, there's ever been one deity that kind of had this notion that it was the only thing around, and was the almost megalomaniac type of facet of a deity, an ancient deity that used to be known as Anamar. Essentially, according to legend, 13. It's the only thing that comes to mind.
That name sounds so familiar from my studies. Something about I want to say an Anamar. Anumar.
Is that the Fallen Drift thing?
Do I recognize that name from my aunt's obsession with all of like the old supernatural and religious stuff?
You know what? Give me that's fucking cool, dude. All right, that's cool. Give me a religion check with disadvantage because you're not the one with the knowledge.
Anti-Jephcots.
I mean, anybody oh yeah, no, dude, you got a 5.
Yeah,
you're like,
not great.
Anamar, isn't that something you spread on toast?
No, not Malave, Anamar.
Yeah.
Renault, does that ring a bell with any stories like lore that you would have heard of us in the future?
Absolutely not. There's been several instances where you have mentioned things known as gods and different types of magics that I've had no idea what you were talking about.
You say that with such enthusiasm.
I figured I'd let you know.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Well, I have no idea what that is. So is it the teeth thing? The spindly tentacle teeth thing? You didn't see the teeth. I saw the teeth.
I didn't see any teeth thing. But this name just well, regardless, they were this old deity that was so full of themselves. They believed themselves to be the only true one, or something to that extent. So, I mean, it's the only thing that sounds even remotely similar to what they said. And, you know, these crazy cultists all follow these ancient chicanery nonsense.
Are they the same cultists as
that were in the base?
Yeah, while I'm asking that, I'm gonna look around and see if any of them are wearing the cloaks, the orange
robes.
Yeah, the robes.
No. But you know what? Give me an
they shop at Kobold's Closet.
They do. They absolutely do. Yeah, you recognize the seams are all the same. I'm telling you, I went to Kobold's Closet and all I got was this lousy fucking t-shirt.
I got 12.
You got 12?
Mm-hmm. I'll throw a 3 on that.
You want 3? All right, cool.
Throw a 3 up on that.
Slap a 3 on that bad boy.
All right. What exactly are you looking for?
The same robes that the other cult was wearing.
The same one. You don't. You got a 12 for a total of 15. From where you're standing, you're not noticing anything. I mean, you know, you're like your height minus like 6 inches for your eyeballs, and you're like looking around. You're not noticing anything like that. But others do notice that you are actively looking around if other people want to join in.
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay. Investigation
Once he
check.
starts looking, then I'm like, oh yeah.
Everybody help me find the groups.
With the 24.
I'm eating because
24?
24, yeah. Shahid's like, yeah, red cloak. Hold on for a second. And from where he said
27.
27. Casper's like,
you know what? To hell with you, Casper.
This is my robe. This is what I'm missing from my house.
Casper, dude, you just fucking you're looking around. And then you realize something. Most of the people at this back here were villagers. You come up with the idea of going more towards the portion of the village that isn't necessarily destroyed. You start advancing. Others join you in order for safety's sake and everything like that. I'm not gonna willingly put your character into peril without your say-so. I mean,
we've established at this point that Casper is like, if he thinks that it's something he has to do, he's gonna wander off and do it.
Yeah, all right, no, that's totally fair. So he goes off and he starts entering into the village and started looking around, kicking the bodies. Shahid, meanwhile, you're doing the exact same thing. Shahid, you got a 24. You see a shock of red, Shahid, next to somebody's belt. No, it's just a faded old rag or something like that, etc. There was nothing here, Shahid. Casper goes further into the village. Casper, you're now within about 30-50 feet or so of the first building. This one's going to be a little bit up and on the left-hand side that still stands. Everything else prior to this point have been destroyed in a gradient. Those closer to the shore obliterated. Those here have seen more damage from shrapnel, debris, and other things being tossed in, indicating that whatever took out the bottom of the village did so in a rather rushed fashion. It obliterated it with extreme violence. So now you come into this area and you can see that in between two buildings lies a boot in an upright position, assumingly still with a foot and a leg in it. And you can see the hem of a robe peeking out from behind the corner.
Hello? Is that... Hello?
I'm gonna draw my rapier.
Okay, you begin to approach.
Oh no, I like seeing that, like peeking out from around the corner. I'm gonna like.
Mind you, I apologize. I want to make sure I convey this properly. If it's a body, it's laying on its back.
Okay.
With its foot pointed in the air. Correct.
Gotcha.
It's not standing. Yeah, I apologize.
Gotcha.
I was like, Renault is saying hello, and I'm like, oh, they think so. Sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, then I'll cautiously move forward and towards the body.
Okay, you do. The stench now from the base of the village kind of stayed over there. Coming forward, it's a little bit more characteristic of a battle scene. You have smelled gangland warfare aftermath. This is now that. But even then, the iron that is in the air from the spill of blood seems to have subsided over time. Nonetheless, it is still there. You come around the corner, and you can see just the lower half of a body, the remnants of a robe still attached around the waist, a sharp cut as if this person had been bisected with something razor sharp, and the upper half of the body nowhere to be seen. 2 black boots, pants, and the lower portion of a robe are all that remains, and it is the same kind of cloth, weave, and color of those that you have seen in the past.
I want to see if I can are the hands like closed, open?
There are no hands.
Oh,
you only see waist down.
My bad. I guess I want to see if I can find anything else on that half a body. But as I do, I kind of wave everybody over and go, right, so whatever destroyed the lower part of the village, it did it with this just brute destructive force. It tore through everything. It smashed through the buildings. The bodies we saw down there were ripped to shreds or crushed to pieces. This right here, this was not something that was done with just a explosive force of brutality. This is, I mean, look at it. It's almost surgical. It's like when, almost like the back of Mr. Malave's head. Back at Ophelia's house.
All right.
Little soon.
Daredevil Cooks.
Just a touch. It's all right. It's all right.
Casper, Daredevil Cooks, thank you for the follow, buddy. Just followed. That's going to give you +1 to whatever skill check or whatever you want next.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
By the way, if I want to take a quick moment, I apologize, players, if this is going to take you out. One of our community has said something that I want to address. Buzz74. I understand sometimes games and the people within it are simply not a good match for you. But if you continue with it, trust me, you're going to find people that are worthy of having you in their game. Continue trying. Don't ever lose confidence in it, and you yourself just don the armor of a character, find the confidence in the character yourself, and soon enough, it's almost like fake it until you make it. And then after a while, you'll find that within you. But in the meantime, ignore, and no one deserves to be treated like shit because their DM is an asshole. So I had to say that, guys. I apologize for stopping the story.
You're good.
No, don't apologize. It's true.
Okay, back on track.
So this is the same cult.
Yeah, I mean, look at the rope here. Just like pointing out all the consistencies.
Wait, if this is the same cult that was in that basement with this, with the blue shard, and then there was that bestial entity with the chains, it's that cult?
That would appear what the constable is trying to say, yes. Aye. Everything that you've been saying so far seems to be of that exact same ilk. I'm gonna go over there, take a look around. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
He goes off. God damn it! He goes off to the up to the northeast just a little bit. And
I want to follow him.
Sure. Yeah, you do. Not a problem. Oh, TMC's. Oh my God, you were fucking amazing for gifting that sub. Thank you.
As he does that, I want to do a quick detect thoughts on him as he's still within my 30-foot range.
Yeah, there's no rolls for that, right?
Not for the surface thoughts, only if I want to go deeper.
He seems curious and concerned. You're getting a visual of him like planning to not enter any doorways, kind of look around, and then he looks over his right shoulder and he sees that Casper's coming, and then a look of a feeling of relief and emotion.
Okay, good. Yeah, in Casper's head, you kind of hear Shahid's voice, and he says something along the lines of like, I think he's good. He's safe.
All right. I'll go along with him and just make sure he stays safe from external threats then.
Very well. He goes up to the door exactly as planned. Looks inside just a little bit, kind of peeking its head and quickly pulling it back, almost like a cat exploring a new room. Taking a look every now and then. You can see that he kind of brushes himself in a self-caring fashion and retreats from the threshold, feeling unease. Shahid, we can say that you're still kind of tapped in just a little bit. You get a feeling of uneasiness, then coupled with his self-care, you can see it's definitely uneasy. But he doesn't seem to have any thoughts of what could be causing the uneasiness, just the unsurety of the unknown. He goes over to building, and you can feel a sense of surprise before your link with him dissipates, and then he confirms, "Hey, everyone! You got alive? No, not alive, but not thrashed to pieces either.
Is he still overlaid?
Give me a perception check, because the only person who was able to notice that was Renault. So that's, with respect, my love, kind of meta.
Yeah, well, it's still meta because I got a 6.
Okay, fair. All right, fair. Totally fair.
All right. What's
Ophelia's like, hey, what was I gonna?
What is that? What do we see here?
I was gonna look for something.
Yeah, you guys end up, after the course of, let's say, I think it's fair to say that we can advance this by about a half an hour or so. You guys are really taking DMZ. Holy crap! Thank you.
With these tier 3s, we got some VIPs in here now.
Okay, dude. We got.
Thank you.
Seriously, bro, this is amazing. Thank you. We're going to advance it by about half an hour, unless there's some specific actions that you guys would like to conduct. The village itself is definitely divided into two parts: that which has been utterly destroyed and that which hasn't. That which hasn't seems to have more people that are fully intact who also died. Something certainly transpired. That which was obliterated, trauma undoubtedly did dealt the death blow to those down there.
A new subscriber. Hello.
Having
there.
said that, may I please have a perception or investigation, whichever is stronger for everyone.
Hell yeah.
The perception or what?
Investigation.
Yeah, whichever works better
18.
for you, buddy.
22.
Nice.
Let me touch that button. Ooh,
16.
Okay, cool.
I got a 27.
Nice. For
Jesus
Renault. Yeah,
Christ.
dude.
You solved the case.
It's hold on. Yep, I just confirmed the game has ended. He got the secrets.
It was Casper's aunt the whole time.
I thought you would never get me, you meddling kids.
Oh man, she has the cat.
She is the cat.
Oh my god.
Right, now I forgot to tell you guys, my aunt turns into a cat sometimes.
Yeah, with a really large mouth.
And she's like, when she turns into a cat, she's a real bitch.
Renault, you managed to disassemble all of reality with that check. Shahid, with your 22, you did extremely well. Casper, you were slightly distracted by what Onyx Mantle was doing. Ethan was taking a look at a piece of what appears to be glass, and Ophelia, yeah, you're taking a look around as well. Ophelia, we're going to start off with, Casper, we're going to start off with you. Taking a look around, you kind of get the sense that all of these people died slowly. The people here in the northern part of the village. Their bodies seem to have decayed in accordance with about 3 months or so. Ordinary progression of death and decay. But taking a look at the postures of them, that seems to be a little bit on the odd side. No one suffered any real trauma. You see a couple of red cloaks, but nothing truly, outstanding. Definitely some cult members who also died, but you don't see the same kind of fleeing motion that you saw in others who, etc. I'm now going to move over to Ophelia with your investigation of 18. You see the same thing as Casper, but in this case, you're noticing one person has their hand closer to their throat. And then you notice another and another. Out of the 20 or so bodies that y'all find, about 4 of them have their hands close to their throat. Shahid, you take a look around and you can see one of the cultists' hand is inside of their pouch. Undoubtedly, you'll come closer to investigate.
Absolutely.
And it appears that when they died, it was sudden. They didn't even have time to take their hand out of their pouch. You go in there and you can see that there is a cloth still grabbed, fisted in the hand, but nothing just an odd white, kind of off-color muslin, if you will. And there seems to be some kind of sticky residue, as if there had been an evaporation of whatever watery contents there were within that cloth, and that left behind something slightly sticky, slightly. It's almost like if a I don't know why this image is coming into my head, but it is. Imagine dissolving rock salt in water and then allowing the water to evaporate. It's that kind of graininess,
like an evaporated form of chloroform.
You know, I've never experienced that, and you and I will talk later as to why do you know that. Yeah, exactly.
I can't say that kind of stuff. No, Mr. FBI, I don't know anything about that.
No. It's all.
Oh my God, there's a knock at my door.
I've slept at your house.
You said that with your whole chest too. I'm very concerned.
Should I be scared?
Is Paula okay?
Mike, yes, you should be scared.
Paula knocked twice.
Chat.
I've slept over at Eric's house a lot of times. And I thought the worst of it was that they would convince me that it was okay to drink a bunch, and then I would sleep over, and then they would put on a scary movie to scare me.
Can we clip this, please? Because this is the kind of evidence the fucking FBI needs.
Just in case.
I'm so happy to be at this trial. Everyone in the jury and watching on TV, maybe?
Smash that like and subscribe button.
Yeah. Subscribe to Evandale, subscribe to Ain't Got Crit. I don't know when this is happening. Buy my book, whatever.
Save the time.
Save the time.
Paula is like, I'm behind the screen, help me. Paula, blink twice if you need help. Fuck, we can't see her. That was lame. That was the lamest goddamn joke ever.
So good, I love it.
Blink twice if you need help, and then type in chat that you blinked twice so we know.
Thank you for saving that, Mike. I appreciate that.
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck. All right. You guys, man, I'm dead.
She just wrote, I'm behind the green screen. Save me in chat.
Oh, fuck. Alrighty.
And now we show our acting chops by going right back to scared.
Ready? And 3, 2, 1. Oh, Erin blew it. Erin blew it. All right, you ready? 5, 4, 2, 1. Where were we?
I'm scared.
That's right. You're scared. And
the sticky residue that was
that's right. Yeah, so Shahid,
piece of white muslin that was in the hand of the individual who I'm investigating.
So Shahid, you can see that definitely this cloth had something in it at some point, but it has since evaporated. And lastly, we come over to Renault. Renault, you, in your mind, begin taking a look at the placement of bodies. You begin taking into account how they landed on the floor. Some with the feet closer to the epicenter, as if they had all fallen away but in naturalistic positions, indicating something forceful and yet something sudden. It appears that they all inhaled something, judging by what Ophelia had seen previously. You also notice that, of course. You notice several people were in the middle of an action of some kind. You begin taking a look at some of the buildings. While none of them are destroyed in this area, you do notice that curtains seem to have caught on other parts of things as if they had been blown in. Glass cracked, not necessarily shattered. One pane of glass had fallen out of a weakened molding in one nearby building. Definitely, there was an epicenter, and that leads you to the center of the upper village. Near a well, you see the fragments of glass, and next to that, a person in a red cloak. You begin taking a look at the glass and, in your mind, start assembling it, maybe even kicking pieces closer together or examining something in whatever fashion you see fit. And there you can see a kind of residue on some of the glass. You put on your monocle and you begin inspecting. May I please have an Arcana check?
No. 10.
That sucks. You have.
Do we have rerolls?
You got 3 of them, bro. Yeah, the chat.
You guys care?
No.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna reroll that.
You got it. Go ahead. It's expended.
20.
Much better.
A little bit better, yeah. Do you want to spend anything on that? You have a +1, a +2, and a +3 for a total of +6.
Can I do the 2 and the 3 to make it 25?
Bro, you got it. You do. You take a look at it, and the first thing that comes to mind are vats in an underground chamber under the asylum. The second thing that comes to mind is the consistency. Yeah, this is the same kind of fluid that was also contained in those large amalgamation things. This is a reanimating fluid of some kind. A soul-stealing fluid? No, that seems a little bit odd. It's almost too epic for this. It seems to be something, though, that laid out everyone, and you've seen it before. May I have one more Arcana? No, you know what? You spent points on this, and you did roll a 25. Let me give you a little bit more. Something comes to mind. In the medical unit of the orbiter space station where you initially came from the border between the 7th and the 8th age, you had come across things and chemicals and medicines and what have you, pharmaceuticals primarily, that were capable of essentially resurrecting somebody.
Okay.
There was a consistency there that's thick, viscous, but also uncomfortably slimy and yet not greasy. A little bit on the sticky side. But only after it had been used, as if it also contained the residuals of something else. It did. What's that?
Possibly like protein nanites?
Possibly. It definitely did something to the body, but uncertain. Do you have anything else that might be able to assist you in viewing this and analyzing it?
Aside from trying to mess with my cube to optimize my monocle, I could probably use that. That would be like a used device to help me out there.
You used your cube inside of Ethan Long.
Ethan, may I borrow you for a moment?
Yes, of course. And he comes right over to you.
I am limited in my own organic parts and being able to analyze something. Can you look better than I can at this here?
He takes a look at the glass. I assume you're referring to the substance still attached?
Yes.
I can try. Hold on for 1 second. Let me see what I can do. And he takes a look at the glass and kind of like meanders off about 5 feet or so, like standing 3/4 with his shoulder back to you. And he's like, give me about 5 minutes. I might be able to get you something. I assume you're looking for an identity of whatever this was?
Yes, perhaps any more details that I wouldn't be able to see with my own naked or assisted eyes.
Ah. Hold on. You see his eyes literally turn off just for a quick second and then it would come back on. I happen to have a memory of something that this body was able to do at one point. Something spectrograph. I'm not too sure what this is, but it seems like that there is some part of my body which is capable of determining the contents of something. Kind of like how a chef can taste soup and determine what's in it.
Yes, an ingredients analysis.
Okay. Well, if you give me longer than 5 minutes, I might be able to do something.
Oh, all right. I just have to find something to do myself while I am stressed about what this may or may not be.
He goes off and tries doing his thing. He actually sits down on like a barrel and like tries looking at it, poking it with his finger, going like this, and then bringing his finger up to his non-existent mouth as if to taste it, and then and continues doing other things. What are the rest of you doing?
So I would still be observing that muslin cloth, really trying to make heads or tails about why this individual was gripping it, because clearly they went to go for it. So at least in my mind right now, I'm not necessarily thinking that that was the agent that would have taken them out of their misery, you know, like I was previously, because they were reaching for it and clearly they didn't have enough time.
Yeah, so you know from your check that it's definitely dehydrated. I mean, it's evaporated. Maybe if you were to take this and soak it in some water, you might be able to reconstitute it.
Does anybody have any water flasks or?
I think Renault was purifying water.
Renault, do you still have some of that purified water?
I do.
I walk up to Renault and I have the muslin cloth in hand and I open it. I say, please, can you pour some in here?
He breaks out a bottle of Poland Spring.
This message brought to you by Poland Spring. No, not really, but again.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
You put a few drops on things and realize, okay, this is over diluting it, this is over here, or this is over hydrating, and this is not enough. And you manage to figure out a way that if you ball it all together, pour a little bit of liquid on there, kind of mush it together, just to kind of help spread the moisture within, you begin to receive a little bit.
Paste?
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a paste. Once you add more water to it, of course, it gets a little bit thinner. And you can see now that you have a fully moistened towelette of some kind, what would you like to do with it?
I show it to obviously everybody. It's making some kind of paste. It's a little tacky, like a taffy almost. This was in the grip of one of the individuals who lies dead. It seems as if he was attempting to reach for it before his life was took.
So maybe don't touch the important bits or smell it or put it near your eyes.
I was originally thinking that, but see, he was reaching for it, so I don't know if this would perhaps help him. Is there anybody's by you? Do any other ones have this kind of material with them, or is it just this one?
There's you kind of, let's see. Everyone give me investigation. You need a 20 or above. Oh.
Okay.
22.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you find something.
He just jumped in.
16.
Yeah, you find another one. Casper, the one that you found with your 22 still had it in its pocket. You just happened to rummage and find it. Marguerite also kind of has her blouse is up around her nose and she's towing out a body, and she goes, I think there's one inside this pouch.
Yeah, I got one here.
So clearly they all had it, but what could it possibly be? I mean, they all either came with it or were given it. It was on their person.
Could it be something to... Because whatever did this, with what we've seen here, these ones that died slowly or grasping at their throat, that one was reaching for this cloth when it died. Could this have been something that would prevent whatever killed them from killing them?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm feeling that some of these people were willing, probably some of the actual cultists themselves, and some people probably were unwilling and were going to attempt to do something in order to thwart it.
Or kill themselves faster.
That's what I was thinking, maybe to avoid the pain the first time, but...
That's why I don't think you should be touching it.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it in this cloth. But Ethan, and now that it's like this, do you think that you may be able to analyze this a little better now?
You notice he is still. His eyes aren't even focused on it, his head's not even turned on it. His eyes are focused elsewhere, and you can see the eyes flickering kind of like the lights on a modem. He's like doing something. And without moving at all, not acting anything out.
Oh God, it seems to be. It's alive. We've succeeded.
He, for a moment, blinks. The lights off and then on. His head then turns and looks at his hand. I found something. I found something that may work. This is from a memory of someone who used to be inside of me. This liquid has the ability to separate the soul, which is a concept I admittedly do not understand, even though I was one, from the body, and store it in some location.
So this substance separates soul from body, yet they didn't have the opportunity to either ingest or apply, or did they just need it in their possession? You think maybe it, and I drop it like, oh shit.
So, Casper and Renault. Let me take a look here. Casper, you, Renault, you got okay. Casper, you're taking a look around and you see more glass shards over by the well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that they get smaller and smaller as they go out, indicating, this is something that had shattered. But they go out in all directions. You put together enough, and Renault, you're taking a look at it as well. There's enough glass here to have held an ampule that was this large. And all of it seemed to have been filled with that liquid.
The contents seem to have gone into something that is currently not here, considering the lack of pooling.
So
you're saying it was successful? Potentially.
Unfortunately.
I differ in opinion.
Oh.
He stands for a second. He looks over at Casper, acknowledging that he was about to say something.
I think I agree with Mr. Long. I don't think that whatever this glass thing... I think this glass thing might have been meant to hold the souls, maybe?
I think, Constable, it was the liquid that ripped the souls from these people.
Right, so there was a liquid content inside this bulb, let's call it, that then in some manner exploded with a radius large enough to eliminate all these individuals.
So it seems. But I also detected one other thing. There is a little bit of black powder in this as well, but it seems to be more on... I don't know if it was part of the original design or of a secondary effect. It exploded and then spread this, or if it was mixed in. I cannot tell that. But this was an explosion, and it spread rapidly. And I believe it was an explosion to have caused it to turn into a vapor, a gas. I believe this village was murdered.
But didn't they want to be?
Perhaps
I feel
not
that
everyone.
I feel that the villagers didn't have any intents, but the cultists were willing. I feel that there's two separate parties that we have involved that are all deceased at this time. There's the cultists, like the one that you were able to speak to, and there's individuals like the one on the ground with these muslin cloths in their hands that were more than likely the villagers who were not as willing to participate.
So I'm really confused as to the timeline though, because if this happens every 3 months, I don't see how an entire village could be established repeatedly. I mean, I'm assuming that the cultists come and sacrifice themselves and take as many souls as they can with them. So take a whole village, for example.
I mean, unless they don't remember.
Unless they bring a whole village with them to inhabit a place and wipe their memory?
Perhaps they can manipulate the memories. Like how often you all have forgotten something for a short period of time when we were dealing with these cultists in the first place.
Renault, you feel a hand on your lower back, and it's it's Onyx Mantle, just letting you know that he is present, and now coming up on your right side. These things that we see here, these 150 people, if not more than that, and all the hidden bodies themselves, I estimate about 300 people. It would seem that this was an experiment. If what you said here, Shahid, somebody grabbing something and then their life was then cut short before they were able to finally grab that cloth, if your theory is correct that this is something that could protect.
That's sort of what I was thinking.
And then what about those things and everyone down below?
It might be that there was 3 parties here, not 2. If there might be the cultists who truly believed that their end goal was to sacrifice themselves or cultists that were trying to sacrifice themselves to something in the river that came out and burst forth, causing that destruction.
I see that as well.
Villagers here who had nothing to do with this and were bystanders that were sacrificed because they were needed by these groups.
But Miss Moore had also made mention that everyone in this area, every 3 months or so, there's some kind of a cycle.
Yeah.
Why every 3 months? And did this thing occur every 3 months, so this whole thing with the class?
Well, Fergus was saying 3 months ago something happened.
Renault, you can feel Marguerite lean into you. She's exhausted, but her head is pounding, and she leans in. He also said that that he never went into the village. He only saw the outside of it.
Airborne, a miasma, perhaps. A very explosive miasma that had a means of manipulating not only one's memories of the events that occurred in, but also separated you from your, who you were in the first place.
Wait a minute. Fergus had said that this occurs like every 3 months, and yet, where are the newcomers? 3 months have now passed. Where are the new ones that are set to die? They're not here.
Do you think this could be something like... You remember when we went in the asylum and we came out in a sort of different fallen drift? Time had progressed differently there. Could that be happening here too? That it's not that there's new villagers are going to be here in, for the next time this happens. It could be that the village will be back, and it's not that it will be happening to
it's residual.
It will be happening again.
Ms. Moore, isn't there something that the individuals in your company would call a residual haunt, where it would just happen over and over in repetition? Like their souls would be trapped.
Yes. That's a fairly common occurrence. That's like hearing footsteps every night in the same pattern, or hearing the same voice call out, with the same message. Like unfinished business, sort of.
We already know that this land, much like Fallen Drift, must be alive. We've heard the pulse of Fallen Drift. I guarantee this place is alive as well, and with that, they must have went through such a trauma that perhaps it's not new villagers like you said, Casper, but it's the same villagers over and over repeatedly being tortured and slaughtered and rose and slaughtered and rose again.
So if that's the case, then I would have seen them in my planchette if it was a spiritual thing, but there was nobody there.
Something northeast of the village. A distant roar of something rising.
Please tell me that's not me again. Please tell me that's not me again. Please tell me.
I heard it too. I heard it too.
Confirmed that existed.
Oh, all right. That's not necessarily good. I hope it was a hallucination, but again, I'm wrong and in a sadder place because of it.
What are you guys doing?
How far away did that sound?
I'm gonna look outside.
Distant. The village looks normal, Renault.
Okay.
Is that what's coming for the villagers that are not here?
As Ophelia says that, Shahid's gonna make his way over towards that well, having a flashback of the asylum and that hole, and he's gonna look down the well with his devil sight to see just how deep this thing goes, at least up to the 120 feet that he can see, if it goes that far down.
Your vision shows the liquidy surface with two bobbing bodies still and rotting.
There's two more down there. Poor bastards.
And then you hear something else. It was audible. It grasped out a sound, a language, something from within.
I'm gonna try to comprehend languages and try to decipher what exactly that's saying.
You understand. It is the same speech that you heard under the asylum from that thing with the chains. It is your own heritage speaking to you through your blood.
It's my own heritage?
I totally misspoke. It's something assisting you that has assisted you in the past.
I was like, what?
It's the desert elves.
They just...
They're coming for you. Oh my god.
Wow, a second hype train may kick off. Holy fuck.
I hear it. It's that same entity from the asylum. The one with the chains and tentacles.
I don't like that you're hearing it here.
And as I say that, the veins, there's like black inky veins that start showing around my eyes and slowly start seeping and throbbing around my brow line and my cheekbones.
You guys each received an additional +1. A new hype train is on the way.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, y'all.
Can we take a quick water break, hydration break, quick break before this happens?
Absolutely. Shahid, what's the last action you want to perform before we go on break?
It was telling them all that it's...
Got it.
It was that.
Renault?
Time for rest. Time for rest. My brain's been going 1,000 miles a minute.
Wait a second. Your brain or Renault's?
Oh, Renault's, but my brain also, I guess.
Okay, Casper?
Police piloting.
I think seeing Shahid kind of like... I mean, Shahid, you look distressed by this.
Oh, like it's like he's getting that flash from the last time you might have seen him this angsty was when we were in Ophelia's house when he had that talk outside by himself. But
then Casper's like, cautiously going towards Shahid, like, all right, come on, keep things under control here.
And lastly, Ophelia, what are you doing?
I don't think Ophelia likes how Shahid is reacting to something that she hoped would stay in Fallen Drift. So she's going to take her planchette out first, hold it in her mouth as she fishes out her pistol and goes to prep it to do some fucked up shit. And then, she's ready to go.
You do, and you happen to glance down through the crystal in the planchette.
Mm-hmm.
Things get worse. You begin to anticipate what is going to happen. You slowly look down, and at first, you don't see anything. Shahid, you begin to explain, and then the hairs on the back of your neck begin to stand up. Casper, you begin looking for some kind of evidence of foul play or something. You also begin looking around and notice something a little bit odd with your feet. You begin feeling a movement. Renault, you understand that there has been interplanar wackiness that is beginning to go on. But 74, you're amazing. O'Donnell, you're amazing.
Hello there.
Renault, none of that is occurring, and everything right now is in real time.
Oh no.
We're going to take a quick 5-minute break.
Yeah. With that hype train.
Hey guys, Steve here. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to those who are followed, those who have gifted subs, and so much more. Hold on, let me do this. You guys have been absolutely amazing this entire stream. We're on our second hype train. Everything that you guys do keeps the stream alive, so sincerely, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are just absolutely awesome. And we'll see you in just a couple minutes. We're all getting water and rehydrating. Thank you again. And we are back. Each of you have felt something beginning to occur within the village itself. Casper, from under your feet, you felt a vibration, as if the earth itself were beginning to heave and weave somewhere in the distance, and only now are you beginning to feel the vibrations of such actions. Shahid, taking a look around as you began to describe stuff and the hair stands up in the back of your neck, you have felt this before. Last time, it took your wife and child. Renault, you began to feel this as well. You remember that there was in fact a presence, your friend, as he got ejected out into space. Something else was there. It was a presence. It was an earth-like presence. As you recall those memories, the smell of moist soil came to mind, and yet it wasn't quite that. But that overlaid with something else evil. Something that calls out to the soul as if to hearken of a deep pending danger. Ophelia, only recently have you discovered what it's like to actually get in touch with the dead. So many years you have spent engaging in chicanery and other things when in fact you always had the power. You remember as a child how that shadow once spoke with you and offered you comfort, a deceased relative perhaps. But now you understand. Every single person in this village underwent an attack and a separation of souls. You understand what absence of spirit is now. It's an uncomfortable vacuum, and each of their souls are now gasping for air. Casper, you've never seen anything like this in Fallen Drift. But as you look around, you recognize so many of these people as having once been within the city that you have walked a beat on for 20 plus years. Take it from here. The world is yours.
These people, they're not from this village. I know them. I arrested him once for pissing on a street corner. He broke into houses. These people are from Fallen Drift. This ain't right.
Wait. You mean they were brought here from Fallen Drift all this way for this?
We're convinced.
They left or they ran and found their way here. I don't know, but...
What if they were compelled?
Compulsion is definitely within the realm of possibility, but I can't focus on the probability of that right now. I have such an eerie feeling right this moment.
Mr. Jephcots, were these individuals who were brought to the asylum?
I don't know. Not all these people were arrested. I never left the city. I've been on every street. I've walked up and down every alleyway in that city, and I've seen these people there.
How are they leaving?
This makes no sense.
They aren't leaving. They are told to come here by the presence, the same presence that I think maybe overshadows your thoughts whenever you forget something. We shouldn't be here.
Where's it?
We shouldn't be here.
It's in the distance. As it cries out into the air, you can feel the waves of pressure due to its sound hit you solidly in the chest. Some of you feel compelled to take a step backwards in order to, even at this great distance, balance yourself. Ethan immediately plants a foot down on ground. Not a problem. The dwarf holds on to something. Marguerite leads into Renault. Something is awakening. Or Something has been awakened and it's down below, and it is clamoring to get out. You know it's here. You can feel it. And what's more, give me an intelligence check.
Nat 20, 25.
I got a 19.
18.
7.
Shahid, you have been so adversely affected by this, blinded temporarily and deafened by the memories of your wife and child, that you withdrew. You can feel the world around you closing in. Your mind begins to seek escape from its current scenario. You understand that there's so much more at stake, and that you have to relive this in this moment, and you can see your wife and child calling out from you from afar in the desert as that mighty beast then rose up out of the ground. We shift over to Ophelia. You understand that the souls of the dead have departed this realm, but they are contained elsewhere, and they are currently fueling the rise of something so much greater. Casper, you understand that there are cults that have always been afoot within Fallen Drift, and many of them have come over here, and yet there is one question that still riddles your mind. Why is it that those within Fallen Drift were allowed to escape? Why is it that those in Fallen Drift cannot think? Why is it that those outside of Fallen Drift don't have such restrictions? They came here. Give me an investigation while I move on. Renault, with your 25. They came here to raise it. Fallen Drift is merely the destination. There's already a foundation.
Not again.
Now they want to construct the rest of the cage around the city. Casper, something outside of the city. Or is it something not enough information. You need to conduct your investigation further.
Could I use one of the urchins to reroll my investigation?
Yeah, by all means, go ahead.
Mr. Shahid, and Miss Ophelia, I may need your assistance with a theory I would like to do very, very quickly.
What?
The runes, the things that sealed whatever it was at the asylum. Do you recall them?
Yes, I have them written down. Yes.
Is it possible that we could work out something that could potentially, using the best of ability we have, our own spirits, if we could, to suppress the ability of this unearthing coming over the horizon, however it chooses to manifest itself?
I'm gonna look for a shard of glass that might be on the ground, something that I could use as a writing implement.
While you do, you frantically begin looking around for the reflection of light in something shiny. You begin looking for that pattern all around you. Meanwhile, Casper, you begin putting two and two together. You remember various things that have been taking place all throughout the city, and then you remember getting your job but also losing your job. You remember the overlay of time and of incidents and other things like that. And then you remember that there was one person walking in a crowd about 5 years ago that bore a tattoo mark on the side of their neck, and that caused you to think about something else. The red yarn of the mental notes all begin to extending, and the picture unfolds to the constable. This is a test site, and whatever this is lies beyond. You can see, you turn your head down south, and you can see all those dead bodies and the destroyed buildings. They raised something. And then you take a look at the ampule, this very large thing that had spread all this gas. Anybody not killed by that was killed by this, and it was their own. You take a look at the cultists. They were trying to protect themselves. They knew what was going to happen. Some of them began to reach for the protection. The answer lies up north, beyond the village. Something is here. You remember Ethan Long's statements from earlier. Something is alive, and it is large. Marguerite falls back into Renault, her mind completely overwhelmed with something. The dwarf now standing still and refusing, almost stoically shutting out any kind of an outside impression as he attempts to work but continuously fails concentration, continuously works in order to shield his mind from whatever it is that's beginning to happen. Ethan Long, you can see one eye blinking on and off, the other one steady, an indication that his systems are not correct. Whoever speaks first goes.
While we've been going through this interactions, both myself and Shahid have been working to try to put something down on the ground in the area, the circle to replicate it, do some form of preventative measure. I've been using the shards of his mirror that I had in the mason jar to help supplement this.
And I'm using a shard of glass, and I'm taking out my Book of Shadows, and I flip to the page of that ward of protection for demons, and I'm just like in this language that for some reason is coming to me from somewhere that I just can't understand. I feel that it's something that I would just all of a sudden start speaking and just not realize that I'm doing it, as I'm going to try to cast protection from evil.
You do.
And I'm just like, I'm going to see those scars.
You raise your hands. You feel a wall begin to surround you. Renault?
Yes?
What are you doing?
I'm continuing with inscribing the sigils and some form of symmetry with Shahid to maintain this, using the mirror shard and as a conduit for it.
Give me Arcana. Ophelia, what are you doing?
While they are kind of like hovered down doing their own thing, I'm going to sort of like silently duck goose style around and touch each shoulder and realize they don't need my help, and I'm going to go over to Casper and touch his shoulder and say settle and cast guidance.
Perfect.
I got a 27.
Thank you so much for that. I'll get you results in a second, Casper. A familiar hand touches you.
Yeah, they were testing something. They were raising something.
Calm yourself.
North of the village. It's north to the north.
Use your head.
Right.
Shahid, you understand that whatever it is that you are doing right now ordinarily should have worked, but it's almost like you're trying to stick tape onto dirt. It's something is not grabbing. A little bit more effort, you might be able to have it. May I have a intelligence check? Or actually, what is the attribute that is most appropriate for this situation according to you? Or ability?
So for this in particular right now, it would be more of an Arcana to me.
Okay, let me have an Arcana.
12.
It is simply not gripping. You understand that this protection is necessarily, it is imminent. It must occur. It's not gripping. What do you want to do? You can use an urchin to re-roll that in order to get a better grip on the understanding of what needs to take place.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
You got it. Go ahead. Re-roll your Arcana.
No, it's just not coming to me.
Completely understood.
Mr. Shahid, what is wrong? Is it my
As the voice speaks, it begins to get clearer and clearer as you instinctively cast comprehend languages.
Your weakness is palpable. Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for your wife and child? Because that is all you are going to do. You've remained protected against the very nature of that which rises now. And you will never learn from our
Shahid, I need some form of instruction. This is outside of my normal wheelhouse. Please assist. Focus. Shahid.
I need to sacrifice more. I need to do more to protect you.
What?
I need to do more.
Yes. Empower me, and I shall rid you of these troubles.
Moving back, Marguerite.
Marguerite's like clutching White Clawed onto your arm.
Shahid, visit your family once again. You understand, I have that ability. Rise to your true worth.
You become infused with a taste of level 20.
Understand the power that can be given. Understand this now.
You are muted. Eric, you're muted, buddy.
Eric, you're muted.
I love the dedication.
More must be given. More must be given. More must be given.
Allow it to take you. Allow it to fill you. Rise now, my child, and consume that which needs to be sacrificed.
I cut myself. I allow the blood of myself to flow in this circle. Now, more.
Give me a Constitution save.
Steve, seeing this, I'm going to smash the mason jar that has the fragments of his mirror to make sure that he does not completely lose himself.
That's not going to work in this case. He actually rolled a 1 on his save.
Heard. Damn it. Heard.
There is a gout of blood of inordinate proportions that comes out of Shahid's arm. His initial bite was empowered by something which is beyond this world. You can see the ivory of bone as he cast in, and his hand going limp from the damage of severed ligaments. Shahid's pallor begins to pale, and Casper, that pulse you felt underground reverberates everywhere. You can see body parts and remnants beginning to shake. Renault, Marguerite is clutching onto you, and she looks, fuck, Donald just did something. Fuck. Marguerite looks over at Shahid and sees his knees beginning to buckle from the blood loss. Casper, you're trying to put 2 and 2 together, and then you see this beginning to occur, and you can see yourself in slow motion kind of running towards Shahid, or rather the will or the desire, whatever it is, however you choose to interpret that. Ophelia, you understand that you can see or sense that soul beginning to separate from Shahid and join something much greater than yourself. And then Shahid. It was going black just on the outsides. Detailed vision directly in front of you began to blur. Tunnel vision began to set in. Your body beginning to gasp for air, and it didn't. Donald, I need you to roll exclamation point D10, and then we will multiply it by 6. Ophelia, you can feel spiritual activity beginning to move around.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see this healing.
Shahid, you can feel 70 hit points worth of healing energy overtake your body. Your arm begins to stitch back in place. And then you understand.
Dissatisfied. Your body is yours for now. It's time. I give myself to you. Believe. Help.
You all watch him and note his mouth moves, no sound comes out. But those sounds that do come out, guttural, bass, belonging to something else that consumes him. Ophelia, you can feel, and so can you, Shahid, that consuming spirit beginning to lose its grasp over Shahid and leave. Shahid, a wave of nausea overcomes you as you begin to realize the dire import of everything that has just happened. You are level 6 once more.
You.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I am now. Yeah.
And what did you get from all of that?
Are you all okay?
For now, yeah.
Something inexplicable was reaching out to you all. I can't explain it. I could feel it moistly undulating within me. It was just this. It was here. It wanted us all.
And you stopped it.
I mean, I believe so. If you're okay, it had to have been.
At what cost, though?
That's of no importance. As long as you're all okay, it's all that matters. Are you all okay?
Yes.
We will be once we leave.
Casper, give me an investigation.
Sure. Could I use an urchin on that? Do I have any left? Because I rolled a 3.
I think we have 2 left after the level 1.
That is correct. There is now 1 left.
Would you guys be mad if I used one?
No, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Much better. That's a 26.
Damn.
I agree.
Continue. As the players reveal more info, let's see how the story unfolds, and then I'll respond with a heightened version of that.
I think
I vomit.
Right. I think whatever's coming, we're not in shape to face it. We need to get back to the boat and get out of here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That thing coming from the north, I'm pretty sure it's whatever they raised here is coming back.
It's coming for a village that isn't here. We're the only ones.
So we need to leave.
It's anything like the. It could be something like the abomination that we saw in the basement of the asylum. The sort of fusion of the souls of all in attendance here. So
It feels worse.
It's much worse. We need to go. That entity from the asylum, I feel it. It's here.
Yes, you do, and you can still feel it. A tenuous connection between here and there, but it is there.
Ethan.
It's here.
Ethan.
He looks over at you.
What's wrong with Ethan?
No,
what happened to Ethan?
Not many receptors going off. Can you figure out how we can get out of here quickly?
Run.
Oh shit.
Then let's do that.
But that is how to leave. That is not going to yield answers. I have an inevitable feeling of dread, and I do not know why, but I process it as a living danger, and yet I do not see anything around me that would... He sits down for a second, and a very human hand goes up to his face as if to calm himself.
Your hand?
It is the android hand, but it still reaches up in that human fashion. Something is here. That light that I sensed earlier is more concentrated up to the north. At first it was omnipresent. There is something here. And it is the same something that lives in Fallen Drift.
That same feeling that... Oh my god. Is it that? And Shahid remembers that northwester power. Yes. Fuck, it's all making sense. Why didn't I think of this before?
Renault begins grabbing some of the mirror shards again.
You do?
I sense this. I thought it was just northwest, like Fallen Drift, but it's not. It's this place. This place just exudes this radiant energy and this dark, just otherworldly, aberrant, just cacophony of distortion, and I just can't. And the more I think about it, I'm sorry.
You feel a stubby hand grip your shoulder from down low. It's the dwarf. I think I know what you're talking about. Something has happened. Let me see if I can... Let me see if I can recreate it.
Can I try something while he does that?
He raises his hand. Puts it out. Now listen carefully. There's a ticking. I've reached into the webs of fate itself. Something is about to occur, and I don't know what it is. But we can stop this. Renault?
Going up to Ethan and
Yes.
Casper, I may need your help. All right. Your very core of who you are may give me an answer to something in relation to what is affecting us. When you came into being, there was a weave, a network that was expansive inside of you beyond that. And Shahid had just explained that the feeling was a dark radiance. Well, I felt what would essentially be the opposite of that in you when you were inhabited by the spirit of your namesake. So it is possible that we could maybe amplify that using both of mine and Mr. Casper's capabilities, maybe pulse it away, a deterrent, but I do not know how that will affect you.
We'd have to.
Wait.
You're saying you want me to take the cube out of Ethan?
We amplify the I guess counter the malevolence with Ethan here.
I don't understand. What do you want to do with me?
It seems that you give off what would be classified as a positive charge to the negative charge that this thing gives off. I saw it when you were first crafted, or came into be. I want to know if there's a possibility that we could amplify that to deter it, or see if it has an effect on this terrible thing that is approaching us.
I don't know if it is possible for me to affect any kind of external stimuli. I'm very much... I mean, I'll help however you need. Go ahead, do whatever.
Renault is going to go into the core of where he's basically central processor is and begin to see if he can navigate how to give off a positive energy using by intensifying it with his cube.
When you take your cube out, give me an intelligence check. Goblin, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the raid.
17.
It's going to be sketchy. You fully understand that the energy that is within Ethan is very much contained. You were the one who put it there. The manner in which it is contained is incredibly strong, and you had to do that in order for him to live. It's going to take some manner of arcana, tapping into that ancient divine force that had been corrupted by mortality, to transform it into something else. It's going to require something more than what you have. Having said that, you have now Casper's cube, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand that. Yeah, you understand that it is untainted. Now give me, and the intelligence check 17.
Yes.
It is untainted. You can feel a palpable, like a something inside of it vibrating, and a life essence. This is normal for his cube, but the planchette and the mirror have not been acting as thus. They have not been acting the way that the cube has, by demonstrating its normal powers. Every time the planchette had been looked through, you saw something. Every time the mirror had been looked through, there was a reflection of souls. This is contrary. These three items should be operating all the same way, and yet only Casper's cube is. Are those two other items reliant upon Falendrift's energy to work?
Isn't Falendrift's energy like kind of within us?
All of that are thoughts of Renault that he has not yet expanded upon, so it's kind of meta to discuss it at this point.
Never mind.
Is it the real Falendrift, the friends we made along the way?
Is Falendrift your actual friend and everyone else is...
If a Falendrift falls in the forest and no one's...
If a Falendrift's in the forest.
Shahid, Ophelia, all right, here's the conundrum that I've come across, and I'm guessing because we have an imminent threat en route. There needs to be some form of matching to the energy of Mr. Casper's cube. More often than not, the two that you had are based off of perception, and ours both have some type of output. So I'm sure that using all of them to help yours, Casper, we could possibly make something to intensify its capabilities. Perhaps use a constant reflection of energy through your planchette, magnifying its power, so that your cube can emanate in the way it is supposed to.
So to put the cube on one end, the looking glass on the other, and the planchette in the middle to have a...
Yes, and at a point, perhaps the mirror could intensify the energy output from my cube to refine the purification and empowerment process. It is the only thing I can think of at this moment.
Renault, you also remember that it was only your cube that was able to amplify anything. Casper's cube was more about a container of souls than anything. It never once experienced or demonstrated that it had the ability to amplify. Having said that, please go on.
So basically, I'm trying to use my cube to, like...
You don't have one. It was put inside of Ethan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Can
I'm sorry, buddy.
Can you upgrade Ethan with the other cube and he be the power source?
Looks at Casper.
Well, okay, all right, Renault, hold on. So you got a flashlight. It holds 3 D-cell batteries. Mm-hmm. There's no room in there for a fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hook that bitch up to my car.
Word.
Based off of the capacity of Mr. Ethan Long,
I was just possessed by an aberrant demon. Listen, don't tell me what I can do.
Stuff that cube in there.
I could put the cube as an assistive, but nothing comes to mind in relation to aiding that. No.
You want to replace it right now?
That wouldn't be wise. I would not want to lose snuff out in the time that we have with Mr. Ethan Long. It's too experimental. It's too dangerous.
So
my cube is still working.
So I need to ask, Mr. Renault, so what is it that you're trying to accomplish by putting these items together?
I was trying to offset the entropic chance of...
No. In Shahid language.
Right, for us from the past.
Making the magic good thing stronger.
Okay.
To negate the bad.
Yes.
So, do you need like an electrical current?
That's one of many energy types, but yes, something like that.
Ms. Moore, I know that you were able to make a loud thunder sound. Can you do its cousin and make some lightning?
Oh! Can I cast light on glass to make it reflective? Like
it would become like, I mean, take a piece of glass, put the edge on an LED light, and the glass itself, it becomes illuminated.
Disco ball.
Yeah, well, disco ball's reflective.
I'm sorry. It must have been my Middle accent. I meant lightning. Not a light. Lightning.
Not unless I go to sleep and think about it. I can ponder.
Fucking use spells if it makes a cooler story.
I don't know the spell. Yes, I can. I can absolutely.
Chat, give me exclamation point D100.
I could do the spell. I have it. I have it right here. It's a major image. No, it's not.
Can I ask, if you don't mind, what is it that you're hoping to achieve against what greater evil? I know that something is coming, but it is not yet here. Are you attempting to do this now, or find a way to do it for later?
Are we...
I don't think there's going to be much of a later, but we should probably head somewhere not directly here, so when it arrives, we get to see it in its terrible form.
All I know is we don't want to be the sacrifices that it's looking for right now. So let's move.
We're forgetting something very important, though. Onyx Mantle said that there's something going to happen here and we can stop it. Running away is... Yeah, it'll save us for now, but if this thing keeps going the way it does, running away is not going to do anything. This thing's a lot bigger than us, it's a lot faster than us, and as much as it hurts to say, it's a lot smarter than us.
Wait, how do we separate it from getting its goal? Its goal is to consume the souls of the things that are floating around here, aren't they not?
What if
I think it's already done that.
Yeah.
And why is this spot special for it to arrive before it goes to Valendrift?
Oh no, I think that it's going to. If everything that's going on right now is what it is, then we're going to have to go directly to the source. We can feel its presence, but we need to go to it, and it is not here.
Okay.
It is beneath us.
Sounds great.
Is it in a different plane of existence?
People look at Renault.
I believe it folds. It's a trans-dimensional being, so it technically yes, and also on ours.
Do we need to know where it is?
All around us. I wish
It definitely helps to know where this thing is, so we know how to either avoid it or attack it.
Wait a second. If this is a multi-dimensional being, then you may be able to create a matrix. He looks directly at Renault. May be able to create a matrix akin to a Faraday cage, something that would protect us from the outside.
But you remember Faraday cages? Oh.
Well, wait.
Oh, this is wonderful. Yes, that's a great idea.
I don't know where I got that from.
Marinate cage?
It's something that inhibits different types of frequencies overlapping. It doesn't matter. It's a lot of as you call Renaulting.
Protection from lightning is what it is, Shahid. What I'm saying is that a protective shell. He looks over at the dwarf. Mr. Onyx Mantle, are you able to protect us while we do this kind of a thing? I am not too sure what exactly you're trying to do, so keep going. What I'm saying is that if this is a multi-dimensional being, we need to pierce the dimension so that we can affect it. We need to become where it is. Because right now, this is all around us, and we cannot affect it. We are too inferior, and it is superior. But I think there's a place where we can do this, and it is somewhere here. I still sense life of a different kind, and I think that is what I am sensing. But it is under us.
Is it in the well?
I looked in the well. I saw two bodies in there floating. There was a liquid. Was I able to make out what kind of liquid it was in?
Water.
It was just there. There's water, but quite possibly beneath.
But if this thing's beneath us, then I think the well's our best shot.
Absolutely.
I think the well is just a well. What I'm sensing is up there, and he points to the end of the village where the more undestroyed buildings lie.
What?
So why would we? I mean, sure, like we can go there, but I thought you said it was beneath us. It was below us.
But the entrance, the surface entrance.
The surface entrance is.
I don't think that it comes out of the well. Think about this for a moment. This whole place is not wet. If it came out of the well, those bodies would not be in there. I think the bodies just simply fell in.
Didn't your dwarf friend, Mr. Shahid, mention something about caverns or tunnels?
I'm right here.
No,
not you.
Oh, sorry.
Grungnir.
Yes.
Oh.
Right here.
Yes, he did. He mentioned that he was working in the tunnels, and that's where he was mining for those crystals.
Mines!
That is why
Are the mines north of here?
Aye! There are mines in this area. I remember that.
The taste out of your... The mines. We need to go to the mines. Yes.
He's already running north. He's like grabbing a femur as a weapon and just taking it.
Oh.
Bork. 1d4 damage, baby.
Fuck yeah, baby. Everyone is heading north. Casper, what are you doing?
I'm heading north. I'm just like holding the cube, trying my best to keep up with like Renault's way of thinking and trying to figure out what this, like, if this is reacting to anything, if this is pulling in any way or doing something different as we move north.
Okay. All right. Totally fair. And Shahid, what are you doing? You're running as well?
Oh, I'm right behind the dwarf. I'm going right towards the mines. Now it's finally all clicked together.
Okay. You guys travel. It's a distance off, but there you can see hills. You can see that there are paths with gullies within them, indicating the passing by of carriages, or not carriages, rather wagons, much smaller. You, in fact, come across a couple of these, and there you see on the ground, completely shattered, yellow glass. Realizing, no, this is crystal. You continue moving forward. You go through a small grouping of trees. You're now traveling, the sweat beginning to grow on your brow. It is still about 88 degrees. Scattered clouds, mostly clear, but the humidity is beginning to build up. You're no longer near the river. And now a forest surrounds you. Continuing along this path, up towards the hills, every now and then, a break in the trees. Until finally you can see hills. You come up them and diverge from where the carts will go, where you can see that they simply stop at the edge of something. And the divergence is onto a footpath, clearly worn and pounded solid into the ground. One that goes up a rocky incline and appears to peer down into an area that has no covering over it. Do you guys ascend this path?
Yes.
I'm already sweating. I was sweating when we started.
Story of my life. Par for the course.
You do, and you come across a gaping wound in the earth. Looking down in it, everyone, go to Foundry. There's your answer.
Oh, jeez, I forgot how to log. I forgot my Foundry login.
So dark. I see me.
Hey.
It is now about 20 to 6. The night has what the hell? I'm getting glitchy shit. The night has passed a little bit, and now you see that there is, in fact, a gaping wound in the earth, but also several individuals in red cloaks standing around. You so far have been silent on your approach. Divine Nation, thank you.
I don't see anything.
I do.
Ophelia, you don't see anything?
No, but I love that it said loading the hole. And specifically that you described it as gaping.
Hold on.
We love
Like a
that.
wound.
Let me see if I
I
can.
didn't realize we were streaming on OnlyFans today.
That is my other channel, guys. I'm sorry.
See what you did there.
It's now about, it's a little bit of time has passed. You guys are now peering down into a hole. Erin, are you able to see it? What the fuck is that?
It's loading again. No, it's just me. Me all by myself.
Seeing the guys in the robes.
I just hit to refresh, so go ahead and press F5 to refresh.
Seeing the guys in the robes, I'm going to hook up those gloves that I was working on in the boat when we got away when we were working frantically.
Yep, and so you do, and this is where we're going to pick up next week.
Okay, going in blind. I love it. Love it.
I'm looking at the stream to see it.
I think you did that on purpose. You're like, I think I've run out of cliffhangers for Erin, so I'm actually going to turn the map off and then end it.
This map is dope as hell.
Oh, I'm glad you think so. I wish I could see it too.
You like that?
Yeah,
right? You like that?
I'm super stoked on this map too.
I love it.
Once I remember my Foundry stuff.
Guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to see you next week for the conclusion of Book 3, Mysteries of the Unseen Hand, here in the Untimely Heroes stream thing. So,
got you, Erin.
And I say that so I have a nice easy edit for YouTube. So let me say real quick, who is it that is currently streaming that we want to raid? Because we got, like, my God, you guys are fucking amazing. DMC DNZ, I have a feeling I know who you are, or at least I should know who you are. So I'm gonna find out who you are.
I thought so too. I have a thought too.
You have thoughts? Okay. We're going to find out who you are. But either way, you guys have been amazing.
Is it my dad?
Is it your dad?
Is your dad?
No. It's not. I think if I told my dad to watch something on Twitch, he would just be like, all right, no.
Oh my God. Nam 100. Thank you. Nam 100. Nam double. Nam triple I. 80. What is it?
ADH Adventures. ADH and then Adventures.
Oh, I see it here. Thank you. I was like ADH. That's like that's my neurodivergency.
Fucking knew it. I knew that's who it was.
See, well, they currently have 14. They currently have 14 people watching. They're about to get another 17 or so. I'm waiting for the commercial to. Oh my God, the second commercial. Fuck you, Twitch. We're going to raid them. But in the meantime, you guys have been amazing. We're going to hang out on Discord now in the after party for Untimely Heroes. Come over into our Discord channel. Somebody drop the Discord link. I would love to see you all over there so that we can talk about this live. You'll be able to ask questions, interact with us, tell us whether you liked it, you hated it, or simply tell us about yourself. Some of you are brand new. We want to know who you are, what drives you. Are you a gamer? Is this your first time checking it out? We want to meet everyone. Come on into our Discord. It's free, so fuck it. Other than that,
into the Foundry.
Do the thing.
And then, yeah, exactly. So you guys are amazing. We'll see you guys right after the credit roll, and thus we'll begin the raid. Good night, everyone. Stay adorable.